Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube live presentation Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Today, I am pumped, and I hope you are too. Man, today's going to be a good day. We're going to talk about what's moving in the market, why the market is doing what it's doing, stocks, all kinds of stuff. So if you like what you see here, first thing I'm going to say is subscribe to the channel. Especially if you're brand new, welcome to you. If you are brand new, don't forget to subscribe to the VectorVest channel here, support the live stream. From all my regulars, if you can hear me, type of VV Nation in the room. I want to see that. Evidently, for some reason today, my chat's not working. Joey is working on that, so I'm going to move that out to the side. Joey's going to be working on it. By the way, Joey is my producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
So he's in the background doing some things to find out why some of the couple of things are not working. And it's all right. This is what live streaming is all about, folks. It's the live stuff. You know what that means? That's like, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Picking up what I'm putting down? There you go. That's what live stream is all about. So what is Trending Thursday? We talk about stocks that are hitting the news. We analyze those stocks in the VectorVest software. If you are not a VectorVest subscriber, at some point in time throughout the presentation, Joey will put a link in the room for all of you who are not subscribers to grab control of a subscription, a trial subscription for 30 days. All right. So, and all of the people who are my regulars, again, thank you all for being here. That's what Trending Thursday is all about. Today, we're going to help to initiate a new segment that hopefully at some point in time will take on its own presentation called Stock Market Confessions. And what that's all about is we take a confession from a trade confession from someone out there. All right. There's a link. Do we still have the link for the WUFU for the survey? Joey will check. I think we might have a link for a survey that you can fill out. If you got to zoom in across, go ahead. There you go. There's a link for a survey to fill out if you want to participate in that. If you have a stock trade that you put on that didn't work out or worked out better than you thought or whatever, it's going to be Stock Market Confessions. And every week going forward, we're going to look at a confession. But I need that information from you guys. So when Joey finds the link, when Joey finds the link, he will put it out there and go click on it, fill it out, tell me about a trade that you have. And the cool thing about that too is we're going to develop a character. And Joey and I have been working on that. Excuse me. We have a couple of names that we're looking for, but it's going to be a character specifically for Stock Market Confessions. We're really excited about that. And we're going to interject it into these Trending Thursdays. But eventually, once it gets up enough, it's going to have its own segment one of the days of the week. All right. With that, let's get into the software. Let's start talking about what's going on in the market. So bring up the software for you. For those of you who are not VectorVest subscribers, again, just pay attention to what's going on. It's the software that we use. I've worked for VectorVest now for over 16 years. So it's something that I truly believe in. It's helped change a lot of lives of the people that are in this room. Just ask them. Just ask them. And they'll tell you. That's VV Nation. Let them. You don't have to always just hear it from me. Listen, let the VV Nation tell you what they think about VectorVest. All right. So here on the home page, let's talk about what's going on in the market. I am using VectorVest real time, so I'm able to see what all of the major indices are doing tick by tick. I can clearly see we have a mixed market. The only indice that's really moving up today is the NASDAQ. All right, that's the big mover. It's up about 0.5%. The VectorVest Composite is up about 0.3%. The VectorVest Composite is an indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track. Currently, we track 8,249 stocks. All right. So this composite price, which is currently at $50.76, represents the broad market move of over 8,200 stocks. So we use that for market timing, but clearly a mixed market today. If we move over to our market timing gauge, the guidance does say that VectorVest does advocate buying safe stocks that are undervalued and rising in price at this time. Steve, we will give you an opportunity to take a look at some stocks, so I'm not ready to take them yet. But I will give you an opportunity. But thank you for for trying to put a stock out there already. But towards the end, Steve, I will give you an opportunity to type stocks into the room. All right, how about I've got Christian from Denmark here. Thank you for being here and supporting the live stream. So, our market timing gauge, which is our daily traffic light in the market, is saying we're one tick into the green. We advocate buying safe, undervalued stocks rising in the market right now. But here's our color guard, which looks at a 6-day snapshot of 3 of our market timing indicators. The price of the VectorVest composite, as I mentioned, is an arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track. RT, which looks at the short-term price trend of the stock, currently at 1.07 on a scale between 0 and 2. The market's still in an uptrend. And the BSR, or buy to sell ratio, which shows us the ratio of buy recommendations divided by sells at a value of 2.55. It tells me for every sell in the system, we have 2.5 buys. Looks like people are getting into the room where there was 2 channels. So Joey was working on that in the background. That's why he's my producer. I don't know what happened with the 2 channels today, but looks like people are getting into the room. So thank you, Joey, for doing what you do, because you're always awesome. Say thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah. Say it with some enthusiasm. And if you don't, you know what happens if you don't say with enthusiasm, right? All right, just so that you guys can hear my sign. So, was it Joey's fault? Moritz, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't Joey's fault. Huh?
It may have been.
All right, Joey said it may have been. So this is what happens to Joey after today. All right, so we'll take care of that. And then after that, you'll look at Joey and you're going to say, good, googly muggly, after he gets beat up. So there you go. Don't mess with Joey. He just saved your... Listen, I know Jay. He's real good at what he does. I know he is. All right, so as we look at the color guard, what's the preponderance of color you see? You see a lot more yellow starting to pop up. What does that mean as a VectorVest subscriber? It just means, if nothing else, slow down in your investing, tighten your stops. We have an indicator in VectorVest called the market timing indicator, which for VectorVest subscribers says this is a time to tighten up stops. The market is looking kind of toppy. All right, Glenn, are we getting a free mug? Hey, Joey, can we give away a free mug today? Joey is my producer. He tells me yes or no.
It's up to you.
Yes, we're going to give away a free mug today. Joey is going to look at all of the chat. All right, and based upon chat, Joey is going to pick a person for the free mug today. No, Jay, don't type mug. Do not do that. Do not flood it with mug. Stop it. Oh, my gosh, here it comes. Don't flood the screen with mug. Joey's going to pay attention to who's talking in the room. All right, Joey's going to pay attention to who's talking in the room. So be nice to Joey. Joey's going to pick a winner today for a free mug. All right, there you go. And you know, Joey, can I sign it?
No, they don't want that.
Wow, Joey says they don't want me to sign it, so I won't. All right, so let's go. You see Jennifer?
Yes.
All right. So as we look at what's going on, today the market is mixed. Overall, the color guard is telling us to just be careful. This is what you get as a VectorVest subscriber. So why is this always so important to talk about? Because market's direction is always the most important thing before you pull the trigger on the trade. All right. And so this is what we'll do. Let's start talking about our first story of why the market is responding or reacting the way that it is. Let's go find... There we go. So let's start off with market news. This is the market overview. Couple of things going on. July consumer prices rise amid increased demand on a range of goods and services. Consumer prices rise. What is that? It's called inflation. All right, even though the Fed wants to say inflation is okay, everything is okay, it's in check, consumer prices rise. The consumer price index climbed seasonally to 0.6% in July, the Labor Department says. So what does this mean? The consumer price index, which measures what consumers pay for everyday items, including driving, fuel, clothing, and electricity climbed a seasonally adjusted 0.6% in July, the Labor Department said Wednesday. So this is a sign of firming inflation as demand for goods rebound following steep declines earlier this year for the coronavirus. So as we start to get back into sports opening up, schools opening up, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on. All right, no politics gets talked about in here. All I'm talking about is the facts. The country is trying to reopen, and by way of doing that, it's trying to spur up what's going on. And as more and more people want to buy stuff, then guess what? Prices can go up because demand is getting there, so prices can go up. Inflation is slowly but surely becoming a problem. But the government still says it's in check. All right, I'm looking at the news. Talking about something else, federal government sent workers nearly $250 billion in the $600 a week jobless aid. $600 a week. What is that? $2,400 a month. That's a lot of money, isn't it, Joey? $2,400 a month for a lot of people who weren't even making that, and it's making it tough. It really is making it tough for people to go back to work. Think about all of the people in the service industry who weren't making that kind of money. How easy do you think it is for them to go back to work when they say, I'm making $2,400 a month? That's on top of unemployment, right? That's unemployment plus $2,400? I think it was. New York received the most benefits per worker under the program that expired on July 31st. I believe it's the $600 on top of. Workers who permanently lost their jobs, were furloughed, or had their hours cut were able to tap $600 in federal unemployment benefits on top of the amount that they qualified from the state. So that's a lot of dough. So that was just $2,400 into $600 extra a week. On top of that, man, a lot of people, it's going to be tough for a lot of people to want to come back to work. So that ended on July 31st. The president did put in some kind of an executive order to keep it going, or at least at a lower rate. That is still up in the air right now. But I don't think that folks realize that even with the $600 a week in aid extra, how much money is being spent. A ton of money is being spent. Again, doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on. All I'm doing is reporting what's out there, or showing you the news that's out there. All right, nothing more, nothing less.
Show the story.
Did I not show the story at all? Oh man, I didn't do that for the. All right, that was my fault. All right, and let's go to the third one, which is one of the Fed chiefs says now is the time to take strong fiscal actions. So what does that mean? Strong fiscal support is needed for the U.S. economy to rebound, but those policies must be paired with efforts to contain the virus. That is the Boston Federal Reserve president. I would say that taking strong fiscal action and taking very few public health action is completely, can't read today, the wrong mix. So the Fed, or part of the Fed, is saying that if we're going to continue to take some fiscal actions to help people, we've got to also look at the possible more spread of the coronavirus. So put those two together. That's what this story is all about. But the Fed is still behind trying to prop up the United States. But saying in this story, this Fed chief is saying that we need to do it responsibly from a coronavirus perspective. And one last story that just came out prior to this presentation, jobless claims dropped to less than 1 million for the first time in 5 months. So less than 1 million, which means that, again, people are getting back out to work. I still want to see, with the dropping of the additional money to unemployment, how that hopefully is going to get more people back to work, or if they are still out of work, how are they going to pay their bills? I think on July 31st as well, evictions could start kicking back in again. This coronavirus has caused so much that has affected the market adversely we've never seen this before. I don't know how many of us has ever lived through the first pandemic, which was the Spanish flu. I don't know if there's any of you out there that's been alive that long. Man, God bless you. But if not, this is uncharted territory for the rest of us. Just think about that. All right, so these are the things that are affecting the market the way that it is. Let's go back into the software. From the software, We're going to go out to, where's my page that I want, Joey? Is it this one? The page that I want, hold on. Is it this one? Nope, it's not that one either. Where's the page that I want, Joey? Where I can go to all of my different tabs. Do we not have that? There it is. Well, I'm calm. You not calm? I'm calm. All right, let's go to our watch list viewer. Let's take a look at the stocks that we have for Trending Thursday today. What is it? 8, 13, 20. There it is. So, two of the stocks that we always look at to track what's going on in the market is the VVC. All right, here's all of the 13 stocks that we'll talk about today. The VVC and the SPY. For those of you who do not have the VectorVest software, you will pay attention to the SPY, which is the spiders, the S&P 500. And for those of you who are subscribers, let's take a look at the VVC. Now that they're both highlighted, I'm going to right-click, view the stock graph. Let's bring that up. I always look at the last 3 months of any graph. All right, there's the spiders. There's the market. There's the S&P 500 still rocking and rolling. Something to keep in mind, though, as the market is rocking and rolling, look at the RT is leveling out. Normally, when the market runs like it did back here, what is RT doing? The short-term price in the market was moving up with the market. Market's still moving up. What's RT doing? Just meandering along. That is a heads up. Even if you're not a VectorVest subscriber, that's a heads up using a VectorVest indicator on the SPY that it's slowing down. The rate of ascent is still going up, but the momentum behind the market is slowing down. All I'm telling you is keep your heads up, all right? As a VectorVest subscriber looking at the VVC, same kind of scenario. The market's moving up. RT is leveling off. Not only that, we do have that MTI, which is telling us that the market is currently looking for a top. So put those things together. All I'm letting you know, whether you're a subscriber to the software or not, is just right now is a time to be careful. Be careful. Notice that as the VectorVest composite has been moving up, doji, indecision, doji, indecision, couple of small bars. Dojis mean that the open and close price for the day were very close to each other. Indecision. As the market's getting it to the level that it's getting to right now, the market is definitely showing levels of indecision and getting tired. That's all. All right. So I'm going to close out of these graphs. That was the market overview. Does anybody have any questions, Joey? As I drink my Tivana tea today, drinking tea. See my Tivana? I'm supporting them too. Here's my Tivana tea.
No questions.
No questions? All right, so that's what's going on in the market. Just to answer a question, what do you do in this current market's condition? This is a good time to manage the trades that you have. Tighten the stops on the trades that you have. Let your stops manage them. If you get stopped out, don't worry about it. Make sure, hopefully, you capture a profit on those stocks. If you are taking a loss on those stocks, make sure it's a small loss so you don't let your losers run away. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, you won't get blindsided. If you're not a VectorVest subscriber, we're still giving you some guidance as to what to do in the current market's conditions. All right.
Everyone wants to know why these two symbols are chosen.
Somebody's asking why these two symbols chosen. One, because as a VectorVest subscriber, this is the indicator that we use for chiming the market, the VVC. For those of you who are not VectorVest subscribers, what is the indicator that you use for the most part to track to see what your portfolio is doing against the market is the S&P 500. So industry standard for the S&P 500, but as a VectorVest subscriber, we have our own indicator which looks at even more stocks than just the S&P 500. Remember, the VVC tracks the movement of over 8,200 stocks. Any other questions, Joey? All right, let's move on to our next story. Our next story is oil stocks. Well, we still know that, and I say it over and over again. What do I say? Demand moves oil. You were so slow on that, Joey. Stop using
Drives oil.
Demand drives oil. Demand moves oil. However you want to look at it, it is demand. So interesting, the story this week. Crude stockpile fell 4.5 million barrels. So that means the stockpile or the oversupply we had on oil moved down a little bit. Now, with that news, Crude oil prices fell by more than expected last week, according to the data released on Wednesday by the Energy Information Administration, the EIA. Inventories for the week ending August 8th fell by 4.5 million barrels compared to expectations of a draw of 2.9 million barrels. The data is consistent with the Tuesday's report of the API, the American Petroleum Institute, which estimated last week's draw to be 4.4 million barrels. That's less than the 7.4 million barrel draw seen last week, but various newswires reports have suggested that the numbers could be understated. Well, I think the typing is horrible. Actual demand from the end users in much lower as 2 million barrels of crude was shifted from strategic petroleum reserves to commercial stocks last week. So, we still have that oversupply. It's there. We're dipping into that supply. The quicker we can get through that supply and start having to get a bigger demand will drive oil prices higher. Now, here's another story. Oil rises again as supply remains subdued. All right, but $50 a barrel still feels like a stretch. You think about with what's going on with the coronavirus, man, the demand is going to, I think we've changed. I don't think the demand is ever going to get to the point where it was at a long time before. If people are still going to remain home for the foreseeable future until business is fully opened up, people aren't driving. People aren't traveling. People aren't vacationing. Planes aren't flying as full. Cruise lines aren't. All of the things that drive oil prices demand are not there. Now, there is one saving grace. Major truck companies are still moving products across the globe. Well, I don't think you can drive from here to London, but across the country. Just think about that. Amazon getting orders in from across the globe, across the country. Wow, across the country to get them driven. UPS, FedEx, deliveries are up because a lot of people are ordering online. So that is a saving grace in regards to the draw on oil or petroleum products, is that the trucking companies are moving. But the other big industries that moves oil are not there. All right. So with that, let's take a look at what stocks I'm going to look at for oil. What do I have? I'm probably pretty much looking at WTI. All right, W&T offshore. That is primarily what I use for tracking oil. If you look at the price and the value, it's still overvalued. Does it have good upside potential? Not yet. Is it a safe? Not yet. Is it RT is telling me it's at 0.54. WTI or oil is still in a downtrend. Now, let's go look at this. This, for me, right here in regards to oil is going to be the key proponent to know, or component to know when it's the right time to buy oil. Let's look at the 3-month graph. What's oil doing right now? Still not at 40, still right about the $40 per barrel. But look at what it's doing, still sitting in a channel of a high of $2.60 with a low of $2.18, sitting squarely in that channel, just pulling off that most recent level of $2.60. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the price of WTI to break above that level of resistance and the RT to go above the value of 1. As soon as RT goes above the value of 1, oil, in this case, which is the U.S. exploration and production, W&T offshore, once RT goes above 1, oil will be in an uptrend. Oil will be in an uptrend because the demand is in place. So this is the stock that I'm looking to time oil, or to try to time petroleum. WTI, looking at moving averages of a 3 and 8 exponential moving average. But right now, even more so, look at the level of support and resistance. I need to see it like it did here. It broke through resistance on 721. And what did it do? Come right back below it. This is a solid line of resistance thus far over the last 3 months. And let's see if it can break above that, but I definitely need RT to go above 1. All right, so that's where I stand on oil right now. It is moving sideways. It's having a hard time to go above 40 and stay above 40. And the story talks about it looks like it's going to be a stretch before it can get above 50 because the demand is not there, not yet. All right, Joey, any questions on this story for oil?
Not specifically, but Richard says, Glenn, do we have access to your Trending Thursday watch list?
The question is, do you have access to my Trending Thursday watch list? The answer to that is no. These are watch lists that I've created for you guys. You know something? One of these weeks, I'm going to show you how I make one of these watch lists specifically for this group. Because even though I may be looking at airline stocks, I have this in here. This is just what I'm picking. Airline stocks, but I look for specific things. I look to make sure that the stock is above $1, but I also look for average volume to be above a certain level as well. I think one of these days, I'm going to show you how to make your own individual industry watch list, no matter what industry it is. I think I'm going to do that. Joey, remind me to look into setting up some time aside for that. Individual watch list, industry watch list. All right. Joey's going to help me remember that. That's a good question. But I build these watch lists. And once I show you how to do that, you're going to be able to do that for any industry you want. Any other questions? No? All right. Let's go back to my watch list for today. 8. What's today's day? 8/13. All right. Let's get to the next story. Next story, once it comes up. Next story is on gold stocks. How many of you, and I'm going to give a little moment for people to respond, how many of you got adversely hit by gold's move today or earlier this week? Just type a me in the room. How many of you got hit by the big move to the downside on gold? And that was on 2 days ago, August 11th. Just type a me in the room. Any me's coming up, Joey?
Yeah.
All right. Huh? All right. So let's talk about it. Gold is still a good play overall. One day doesn't make a trend. It was a big tumble on, there it is, a lot. But I got Amir says, not me. A lot. And silver, it wasn't just, you're right, Tony, it wasn't just gold. It was silver. It was precious metals overall got hit. Jay said the same thing. All right, take that away. So I like what Hugh says, stop, help. No matter what stocks you always get into, no matter what stocks you get into, stops are so important. Hugh, I am so glad to hear that you had stops in place. No matter how good a stock or an industry looks, always have stops. So for everyone who got smoked on gold, I'm curious to know how many of you didn't have stops. All right? You don't need to type that in the room. I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind. So gold tumbles. Gold plunged more than 5% Tuesday as demand for safe haven fell following positive. Here we go. So what made gold fall? Positive vaccine news and ongoing hopes for another road of fiscal stimulus. All right. What moves gold? All right, here we go. What moves gold? What helps to move gold is the dollar. When the markets go down, a lot of times the dollar gets affected. Dollar goes down, people run to gold as a safe haven. All right, if the dollar is still rising because stimulus is out there trying to keep the economy afloat, and if the dollar rises, gold is going to hurt. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on about the news. How about Russia? And I'll talk about vaccine news. How about Russia says they've got the cure, they've got the vaccine. And Putin says he gave it to his own daughter. Man, who does that? Who brings out a vaccine and first off going to give it to your own kid? Think about that. I ain't doing that. All right, so I'm just like, wow. But, I mean, holy smoke. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So, and I think the lack of testing makes it even more scary that he did that. But he put it out there that he came up with it. It's under some scrutiny because of the lack of testing before he starts administering it. We'll see what happens. Lord knows, I hope that it works. All right, I hope that it's not going to go out there, inject people with it, and kill people. I pray that does not happen. So just keeping that in mind. But because of vaccine news, that was big vaccine news. We're going to talk about some other big vaccine news too. And hopes for more fiscal stimulus is keeping the dollar up there. All right. So I would not It would not surprise us if the correction were to continue for a while, for the scale of the upswing over the last 4 weeks has been excessive. This was made clear by the extremely high RSI and pronounced deviation from the 100-day moving average, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's go take a look at what I track with gold. And we do this every Monday in the VectorVest software. In the daily color guard report, we track gold every Monday. So the indicator that we use for gold is the Gold Bugs Index, the HUI. This is an index, or this is an ETF. So the price and the value will remain the same. But notice that even with that being said, RT on the HUI is still above 1. Gold is still in an uptrend. Now the dynamics behind it is RT rising or falling? Well, let's take a look. Let's right click. And this is going to answer the question for everyone who's out there still investing in gold. What did I say? One day doesn't make a trend. That's a big drop. But prior to that drop, what was going on? The stock's price fell, gap down, fell, followed through the next day. And that was prior to the big gap down. All right, so today, what's it doing? It's trying to rebound, but where's it at? Right at yesterday's close. See that line right there? It's trading right at yesterday's close. So if you own gold right now or gold, no, here's today. It's a doji. Today is a doji. Very little move on gold today. Open price 3. It looks like we got no move. Oh, maybe this doesn't update until the end of the day. That could be it. All right, this could be one of the indexes that we have that don't track until the end of the day. So I'll have to see what it looks like tonight. But overall, from a more aggressive standpoint, notice that we have the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average, right? How about this? How about on the date of 8/10 prior to the 11th? That might have been a good day to get out. Does everybody see that? This is a more aggressive way of trading anything. A 3 and an 8 exponential moving average, which I love whether I'm day trading a stock or swing trading a stock. From a swing trade perspective, this was a good opportunity to get in with a 3 or the green went above the 8. Look at that. On the pullback, the 3 and the 8 held. Woo! Pullback, 3 and the 8 held. Woo! Pullback, 3 and the 8 crashed. That happened on the day before the stock gap down. Folks, that's some good stuff right there. Now, understand that this is hindsight, but you know something? Using these moving averages on any index, on any stock, on any industry, this could be a good way to help you to avoid those big falls. Now, one day doesn't make a trend. Let's see what happened with today's data after the market closes. Right now, I'm going to say even though, let's go change the graph like layout to the Midas touch. This is how we actually track gold. We look at 2 different moving averages. We look at a 10 and 65-day moving average of the stop price of the Huey along with a 40-day moving average of the RT. Notice that even as gold has been rising, the green is above the red. So the smaller moving average is above the bigger moving average, but look at what's happening. Here's the dynamics of RT. RT is above 1, but pulling back as the gold has been moving up. That's another heads-up indicator. All right, so with the VectorVest software or trial, you get access to all of this information. Joey's going to put a link in there again, 99 cents for 30 days. Folks, you can't beat this. And yeah, it is hindsight now, but the story was being told as it was working itself out. The story was being told as it was working itself out. Based on VectorVest, is it still okay to hold gold? Yes, because the 10 is above the 65, RT is above 1, falling. So what do you do right now? You protect yourself with stops. Tighten the stops on the gold trades you have. All right, that's it in a nutshell. All right, any questions on my gold story, Joey?
So it says, so with EMA 3 and the 8, you ignored the 30-day moving average?
With the EMA 3 and the 8, the question is, am I ignoring the 30-day moving average? I don't need to have the 30-day along with the 3 and the 8. All right, but if you're looking for a more longer-term perspective, put on the 30-day moving average, the 20-day, the 50-day, whatever moving averages you want to use. I've been showing people the 3 and the 8 because no matter what stock you look at, whether you're day trading or swing trading, the 3 and the 8 do a really good job of getting you in at the right time and getting you out without taking big losses. One other thing about the gold side is the dollar. If we look at the dollar, what's the dollar doing? falling. As the dollar falls, what should be happening with gold? It should be rising. If the dollar falls, gold should be going up. Notice that. Look at the big move of the dollar falling. Look at the little rebound going on from that low right there. All right, so the dollar is a mover of gold. And normally, you saw the big rush we had on gold most recently. Well, look what the dollar was doing. It was falling. We went from gold to silver, and then gold and silver, and then silver, and then silver and gold, and then gold and silver, and then... You're right. Precious metals were moving as the dollar was falling. The dollar's starting to get a little bit of a rebound, which is affecting gold adversely. That's a great way to know how to be in and out of gold on top of that Midas touch look back of the Huey. Any other questions, Joey?
Does this tighter stop also apply to silver?
The question is, does the tighter stop also apply to silver? Absolutely. Notice that I'm not just calling it gold or silver. It really is precious metal. So I'm looking at it for gold, copper, and silver. All right. Any other questions, Joey?
Nope. That is it.
All right. So that is it. Let's go to the next story. Oops. What did I do?
What are you guys sitting over there?
I don't know. What do you say? Did I move it?
Right here.
I'm getting ready to take that off right now.
That's on your desk.
It's my cup. Stop looking at my cup.
It was all weird on there.
It's not. You're weird. Talk about my cup being weird. Why are you such a tea hater? Stop hating on my tea. I call you TH, tea hater. All right. My next story is on stocks of interest. Folks, did you see what happened with Moderna? Did you see the news that happened with Moderna? Was your eyes like this when you looked at the news? That's called Pikachu face, right, Joey? Mm-hmm. Pikachu face. You know when Pikachu on Pokemon goes, Pikachu! That's Pikachu face. Anyway, Moderna moved... was up 10%. This was on August 11th on a $1.5 billion vaccine supply deal with the U.S. The U.S. So this is the second stock. This is the second stock that the government backed up. What was the other one? Kodak. What happened with Kodak? It got smoked like a pound of tobacco. Bacon. Like it got smoked like a pound of bacon. All right. I like bacon, but man, that was an interesting play with Kodak.
Good. Googly moogly.
And then we turned around and it happened with Moderna. Ooh-wee. Now, this is a stock that I've been talking about for a while. I personally like the play on Moderna. I've liked the play on Moderna, but the government backed it up. It jumped up 10% after hours following the news that it has a supply agreement with the U.S. government for an initial 100 million doses. That's a lot of doses. That's like supercalidocious. Lispiastialidocious. Is that how I say it? No. How you know?
Because I know what it is.
I know what it is, too. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There you go.
That's what I said is there. But that's...
You read all the F part.
I left out the F part. I didn't cuss. What put? The supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, shut up and leave me alone. This is what I'm going to do for you. Don't be talking about my words. Those are my words. I'm trying to teach these people some stuff. So Moderna, big move after hours on that 100. That's a lot of doses. So now, somebody in my office, one of our developers, saw that I put that on social media. By the way, if you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, look for Glenn Tompkins Jr. It's GLENNTO, no H, TOMPKINS Jr., JR. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and I put up a lot of these little stories throughout the week prior to Trending Thursday. So I talk about what's going on in the market and all that kind of stuff. But let me say something else. If you like the content that you see here on YouTube, please follow the channel. Follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, like it. How many likes do we have so far, Joey?
0.
We got 0. We didn't get any likes today?
40.
We got 40 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 150 likes today. Pushing the number 150 likes. If you like what you hear today, like us. And don't forget when Joey puts these videos up to please comment on the videos. And also, this is also a podcast. If you go to any of your places where you can get a podcast, search for Trending Thursday. Anywhere you can get a podcast, whether it's on Apple or Google, anywhere you can get a podcast, search for Trending Thursdays. All right? So there's another side to this story. How about this? Moderna says uncertain, and this happened on the same day, uncertain about coronavirus vaccine patent exclusivity. Whoo! So if the government signed, this makes you do like this. It goes, that's right, because now if they don't have patent exclusivity, somebody else could jump on board with this, but the government already put it in order with Moderna, which drove the stock's price higher, but they said, well, I don't know if I got the exclusivity or not. I don't know how that affects the order that the government put in. So I wanted to give you the other side of the story. Why? Because I'm like Paul Harvey. I like to give you the rest of the story. So as good as it looks, I just wanted to let you know what else is behind it. Lyft, another stock of interest. Lyft revenues tumbled 61%. Why? You would think that people would be getting out, and at least they don't want to drive their cars. They would go to Lyft is not getting people. Nobody wants to go. Where do you go to? You go to dinner, you go to the bars. Nobody's doing that. Shares Lyft closed down slightly Wednesday following the company's sobering June quarter financial report, which was as bad as you might have expected in face of COVID-19. So Lyft got smoked. Lyft got delifted, got delofted. Talk about getting delofted. It was like a golf swing. Yep, got delofted. Lyft got delofted. Hey, we should make that go viral. Lyft got delofted. I don't know. All right, for the quarter, the ride-sharing company reported a revenue of $339 million, which is down 61% from a year ago. All right, and posted an adjusted loss of $265 million, or about $1.41 a share. Whew. The street consensus had been a loss of 99 cents a share, and they were down $1.41. The company said it had an adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization loss of $265 million. Whew. Anyway, that hurts. That hurts. While ride shares in the quarter were down significantly year over year, we're encouraged by the recovery trends we're beginning to see. So as the country starts to open up, Lyft is now giving forward guidance of they're hopeful. All right, so that's good. What else is in my stocks of interest? Remember we started talking about TikTok? Microsoft was going to buy TikTok. Apple stepped in and said, yeah, we want to buy TikTok. Now Facebook and Snap held talks to buy TikTok. All of this is everybody's going to fight it out. Everybody's going to fight it out. And once we get it, somebody's going to take charge of TikTok and run with it. All right. Now, is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But the news out there is that China ain't liking it. They're like, you can't do this to our company. And the president saying, yes, we can. And then Microsoft said, we're going to buy it. And then Apple says, nah, we're going to buy it too. And now Facebook and Snap come in as the little brother and sister and go, no, we want to buy it. And everybody wants to get in, and TikTok is standing on the side going, oh no. And that's what's going on. That's the story in a nutshell. All right. Everybody wants to come in, and TikTok is going, I don't know. All right. So with that being said, my next story in my stocks of interest is Netflix. It rose Wednesdays, outperforms the market. Why? Because people that are home and they're binging stuff on Netflix. Are you binging? What are you binging on Netflix?
I'm not really watching a lot.
You're not watching a lot? Why?
Nothing new on there.
It keeps popping up every week. It says, hey, what's new on Netflix? We're going to watch. Netflix is putting out a lot of content. I just don't think that all of it is catching the attention of the people out there, but it does outperform the market. When you look at Netflix, though, you look at their other streaming services that are out there. Amazon was up. Disney was down. Comcast was down. There's a lot of other stocks in this space. Apple's in this space as well. This is still it looks like, though, from the perspective of Netflix is the bigger mover. Netflix is the bigger mover, but this is becoming more of a confined space with everybody dipping their toe in the water. I don't know how creative everyone out there can be to get viewers to come to their streaming platform. Think about that. There got to be a bunch of creative people putting out a lot of content. How good is the content? And as Joey's just sitting here saying, I'm not watching a lot of stuff out there. I'm curious to know whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Disney, whether it's Comcast, whether it's CBS. How many of you are finding good stuff to watch out there? There's a bevy of all of the streaming stuff out there. How many of you are actually feeling it that you're able to go see this stuff that you like? All right, so just think about that. Last but not least, 5G, just like I am hot on clean energy, 5G is another spot that I'm looking at. This is on Sienna to support nationwide. Nationwide, see that? Nationwide is on your side. All right, but that's a different nationwide. Anyway, this is nationwide optical networked with Windstream. I've had Windstream. I don't like them. You ever had Windstream? Mm-mm. Who do I have? I have Spectrum. Who do you have?
AT&T Uverse.
You like AT&T Uverse? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have AT&T Uverse.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, mine is pretty non-existent. Yeah, I pay for Spectrum, and I can't say that because then everybody's going to think I'm bad-mouthing Spectrum. I am a little bit because my service is horrible. But anyway, that's huge. From a 5G perspective, company is matching up with a phone or a wireless provider by way of phones and all that kind of stuff for nationwide optical network, which is going to be huge from a 5G perspective. So that's another 2 industries I want you guys to keep your eyes on, which is going to be clean energy and now 5G. Write it down, take a picture, write a book, don't care. Glenn is putting that out there. 2 industries to keep your eyes on is going to be clean energy and 5G. Let's go take a look at these stocks in the list. Facebook is in here, CN is in here, Netflix. And as far as the 5G, I put a couple of extra stocks in there. Ericsson, Nokia, there's Snap, mRNA, and Lyft. Those are all of my stocks of interest this week. Understanding that Ericsson and Nokia are part of the CN, other stocks that are in the 5G. Let's analyze them. Facebook, nicely undervalued. Trading at 260, value of 318. Sienna, which is my 5G stock, trading at 60, value of 87. Nicely undervalued. Netflix, even though, the stock is considered to be overvalued, trading at 482 with a value of 265. Perception is there. People are willing to spend a premium to own the stock. Ericsson in the 5G space, fairly valued, trading at 1187 with a value of 1130. Nokia trading at 504, value of 605. I'm going to call that fairly valued. Snap. Snap. Like that. Grossly overvalued as a social media stock. 2179 with a value of $1.91. Way overvalued. Moderna, another overvalued stock in the pharmaceutical space, trading at 67 with a value of 835, and Lyft at a price of 29 and a value of 817, overvalued. Let's see out of my stocks of interest, what stocks have the highest upside potential. It looks like Sienna, the 5G company, has a relative value of 1.47. Netflix has a relative value of 1.46. And Facebook has a relative value of 1.43. This is the stock's long-term upside potential. Which ones are lacking? Snap, Moderna, and Lyft. So everybody's probably wondering, why do you like Moderna so much? Because it is in the coronavirus space. It's made them lose a lot. Moderna right now, look at that. RT is below 1. Tell me the stock's in a downtrend. But I think with the news of the government willing to purchase 100 million pieces of the vaccine, that's going to drive the stock. As the coronavirus was hot and heavy, This stock made the news a lot. So this was my stock of choice during the coronavirus. Oh, it's not like the coronavirus is over, but even now, and the government is backing up. Be careful, though, because Kodak was backed up by the government, too. Which ones are the safest stocks in the list? Facebook, CN, and Netflix. Notice that the top 3 in the list happen to be Facebook, CN, and Netflix. 3 different industries. Well, yeah, 3 different industries. Good stocks to keep your eyes on. Relative timing, which ones are in an uptrend? All of them except for Moderna and Lyft. All right. And who's growing their earnings the most? Looks like Netflix. So let's take a look at all of these stocks on the graph. If I had to make a decision on the stocks of interest, which one I like the best, I like Facebook, but it's pulling back. Watch that. Let's go put on my graph layout for, here's the 3 and the 8. Let's take off the 20. Here's the 3 and the 8 along with RT. Whew. A little choppy on Facebook. Look at that RT pulling back as the stock's price is pulling back. Notice on the pullback days, the 3 and the 8 held. This is why I mean, no matter if I'm aggressive on the stock or not, I like the 3 and the 8. All right, let's go to the next one. Wow. This is probably my stock of choice out of all of them today. CN, that 5G stock, hitting a level of resistance. Would love to see it break above that level. But look at the pullback. The 3 and the 8 are still holding. 3 and the 8 are still holding. RT still above 1 even though it's pulling back. Netflix, even though it beat out on earnings and it's moving, just look at it. It's been tough. And I think a lot of it has got to deal with content. I know that it jumped up. It looked like it was getting ready to rock and roll. That was 2 days ago. It found a level of support sitting at 466. Let's see if the 3 and the 8 can cross back up before you think about getting into Netflix. If you haven't yet, I would wait for that. Let's see if the news can really push it up higher. Ericsson, 5G space, did a little bit of a sideways move. Even with the sideways move, look at the 3 and the 8. People always ask me, why do I like the 3 and the 8? Because it works. Because it really works. Even when the stock moves sideways, the 3 is still above the 8 as a 5G company. A little down today. I probably wouldn't touch it today. Wait for the stock to go back up. Nokia, also in that 5G space, moving up, pulling back. Look at the pullback and look how steady the 3 and the 8 were. They still keep you in the stock. The 3 and the 8 keeps you from pulling your hair out, keeps you from over panicking and pulling the trigger too early. All right, let's go to the next stock, Snap. Even with the news of Snap trying to look at TikTok, I don't know if they got the money behind them to really buy it. So Facebook and Snap made the news here because of their wanting to go after TikTok. I think if anybody's going after TikTok, it's going to be Apple. Apple's got the money. It's their deal to win or lose. Microsoft right behind them. I don't know if Facebook and Snap, if it's going to really help them. It could help them, but I think if you're going to go up, whoever's going to offer the most amount of money, I don't think it's going to be Facebook or Snap. I'm looking at Moderna. As much as I love this stock, it's been hard to sit through. I ain't going to lie. It's been hard to sit through, but I'm going to see. Here's the news when the news came out. Look at that. Look at that. It was a lot of bump up and came back down. I don't know if the news is enough to keep it going. All right, but I still think because this stock has made the news as much as it has. I'm still gonna stick to my guns. I wouldn't buy it right now, but I'm still gonna stick to my guns. Possible as far as a vaccine. In Lyft, man, the dismal report just affected it to the downside. Notice that it does have a level of support. Oh, that's not what I wanted. A level of support sitting right about here at about $27.64. Let me make that a little darker for you to see. That's a good level of support for Lyft. If you're still in it, don't know why you would be, but if you're still in it, that's your saving grace. If it breaks below that level, that's your line in the sand. Yeah, I wouldn't be in it. RT has been below 1 since late June, early July. No reason to be in Lyft. No reason, but if you're in it, for whatever the reasons, I ain't judging you. Not yet anyway. There's your saving grace. All right.
He says the dark green candle is the sign of bearish or bullish?
The dark green candle, all right, it's green because the price still finished higher than the previous day. All right. That's why it's green. The closeness of the candle means the price started at the top of the candle and came down. That's why I call it a bearish bullish candle. It's bearish from the price movement of the day, but it's bullish because it's still higher than the prior day's close. All right. Any other questions on my stocks of interest?
Let's see. Somebody asked about Moderna. What was it? Why did Moderna not hold the upswing when the news broke?
Why did Moderna not hold the upswing when the news broke? Probably it was a lot of profit taking. If I go back to just Moderna, let's view the stock price. After the news hit, let me show you something. After the news hit, the price went from a close the day before of $68.97. The stock's price went as high the next day as $75. Yeah, a lot of people in a stock that was moving down saw that jump, took their profits, and that's what happened. Hopefully that makes sense. Look at the stock. If you're in the stock, it's going down, and you say, damn, what do I do? Can I say that? You're going to have to beep that out?
No.
Good. All right, so that happens. Big jump up. I'm going to try to recoup some of my losses that occurred right here. All right, so I'm believing that was a lot of profit taking right there. Any other questions?
I think on that last talk, what was it, Lyft maybe? He said, how about the yellow candle?
On Lyft, yellow candle? What yellow candle? I didn't say, what yellow candle? Maybe I have a yellow line. The yellow line shows me my line in the sand over the last 3 months, which is sitting at about $27.64. It's a good 3-month level of support. That's the only thing yellow that I just talked about on that graph. Any other questions, Joey? Oh, Joey. Oh, Joey.
This guy asked you to briefly explain what the 3 and the 8 means. Is it a 3-month moving average versus 8 month?
All right, so the question is to explain the 3 and the 8. The 3 and the 8 represent a 3 and 8 period. Because I'm at end of day, this represents a 3 and 8 day moving average. If I am on a weekly graph over the last year, these now represent 3 and 8 weeks. It's all depending on my time period I'm looking at. If I'm on a weekly graph, it becomes 3-8 weeks. If I'm on an end of day graph, this becomes 3 and 8 day. But if I'm intraday throughout, let's go put on 1 minute bars current day. If I'm day trading this, these now become 3 and 8 minute bars. All right, so it all looks at whatever time period I'm in. All right. Any other questions, Joe?
Nope. Say bye to Lisa.
Bye, Lisa. All right. If there's no more questions, we're going to go into a super secret new segment called, you got to say something. You joining it. Dun, dun, dun. You're supposed to do that. Can you do that now? Do it. Say it, Joey.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, you're no fun at this. Dun, dun, dun. Stock market confessions. All right, so it's going to be a new segment that we're going to introduce within the Trending Thursdays, but eventually it's going to have its own segment one day in a week. All right? Oh, I like that. Look at that. Joey put the stock market confessions, and we're going to leave it there as I read off a confession. Joey, did you find a link for?
Yeah.
All right. Joey's going to put a link in the room. If you guys have the intestinal fortitude to put in a confession about a stock.
Intestinal.
Huh?
It's not intestinal fortitude.
What is it?
Testicular.
It's testicular fortitude. Well, not everybody's testicular. Why are you getting me out there to say that? Anyway, if anybody has the wherewithal, leave me alone, Joey. If anybody has the wherewithal to submit a trade that they want to confess that was either a good trade or a bad trade or whatever, use that link, fill that out, and we're going to start doing stock market confessions. If I get enough confessions going, I can start to set up its own day, and it will be its own portion. All right? And I am going to be introducing a new character. According to last week, I am thinking I like the idea of Professor Profit. All right? But if you guys have gotten any more ideas, and it will be its own character. It won't be me. It will be its own character. What kind of character would you like to see to present stock market confessions? All right. So here's my confession. Let's see. And the problem is with this was somebody that I got from as a possible confession. So I don't know the dates and the times that this happened. But it says, I lost 25% of my savings this week. What happened? After a long time trading blue chip stocks for modest and single-digit gains, last week I started contriving a plan to get into oil and hit it big. Where's my marker? I gotta write down key statements in here. All right, and hit it big. It says, I spent 40 hours considering all the options. Then on Monday, again, I don't know when this was sent to me, it became clear that it was time to strike. Here's another key statement here. I put 50% of my money in Tuesday morning. I cried. It was not fun, and I feel like I should never play the stock market again. Now, folks, that is a true confession. All right, let's talk about some of the key things that happened in that trade. And this is what Stock Market Confessions is all about, folks, because I think a lot of you are out there sitting in the same seat that this young lady was sitting in. Just keep that in mind. All right, so I lost 25% of my savings this week. First thing that should never happen on any of your trades, you should not, on any one stock, you should not ever risk any more than 1% on any trade of your full portfolio. So what am I saying? If I've got a 10 stock portfolio and I'm investing $100,000, each position is $10,000. What's 1% of $10,000? $100. Joey, thank you for giving me your help. If I lost on each position, how much could I put? So I'm only wagering 10%, 1% of each position. I can put a 10% stop on each stock. 10%. If every stock met my criteria, my stop criteria 10%, how much did I lose in my whole portfolio? 10%. There's no reason in the world that in any given setup of a portfolio that you should ever be down 25%, first and foremost. I always limit your losses to 1% of your total portfolio on each one position. Number one. Number two, I started contriving a plan to get into oil and hit it big. Listen, you've got to have realistic expectations, especially if the person was investing in blue chip stocks for modest and single-digit gains. Well, the whole idea, what was your goal during that time period? To build your nest egg. Probably the reason why you were in those blue chip stocks. All right. So then what did you do? You got ants in the pants and you need to dance, right? Right, Joey? Mm-hmm. You got a little antsy. All right. There's a difference in knowing that how much of your money you can get antsy with. So let me back this up a little bit. If I've got all my money out there, all right, all my total assets should be diversified so that if I want to get antsy, I don't get antsy with the big portion of my total assets. What do I mean? Well, how about this? You probably have 80% of all of your total assets in those single-digit blue chip stocks. 80%. Why? Because you're trying to build your portfolio, build your nest egg. How about 15% of it should be used for your swing trades, where you're getting in and out of stocks between a couple of days and a couple of weeks. That leaves 5% to be antsy with to hit it big. 5% of your total portfolio. Boom, you would not have lost 25% of your total savings. 2, if you're trying to hit it big and be a little bit more aggressive, do it with a smaller portion of your portfolio. So God forbid you lose it. It doesn't affect your total assets in a bad way. You put 50% of your money in. That's a lot of money to try to go after something super aggressive. And I cried. And it says it was not fun and I feel like I should never play the stock market again. So I'm going to absolve you of this confession. I'm going to absolve you because there's a couple of things that we learned here. 1, you should not be losing 25% of your savings on any one given day, ever. Even in the worst case scenario, in a 10 stock portfolio of all of, in your 80% of your retirement money, if you're given 10% per position, the most you're going to lose altogether is 10% of your total portfolio. Ooh. 10% of your, never get to that 25%. That's huge. And then to go put 50% behind an idea of trying to hit it big is like rolling the dice. Craps. That's not what you want to do. That's not what investing is all about. Now, a lot of people out there will say that's what investing is all about. It's all about taking a crapshoot. No. A lot of what investing is all about is learning how to stick to a game plan, knowing when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. That's what investing is all about. But a lot of you out there, because you don't have a game plan, it does become a crapshoot. Stop letting it become a crapshoot. Be more informed in your decisions of what to make, and then putting, So this was a beautiful confession, but I am going to absolve you of your confession because there's things that you now learn that you won't do going into the future. All right. Bring this chat over for me. I'm very curious to know, how did you like that? Again, I like that we're going the direction of the stock market confession. What we've all been there, turn the L's into lessons. I want to know what you guys feel about stock market confessions. Do you like it? Do you not like it? It is something that we are going to do going forward, but I think that's, time is going to take, it's going to take some time to get into it. I need you guys to fill out those forms for me if you want to submit your confessions. All right, so we give it a thumbs up. Dorothy said no. All right, that's fine. Still new and learning. I confess I like it. Thank you, Will. I like it. Hit them with the realism. I like that. That's the good point about this is if I may not absolve you of the trade. I may not absolve you of the confession. All right, especially if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing and you were just greedy. Yeah, I'm not absolving you of the confession. I'm taking you in. I'm taking you in because you knew better than that. All right, so it looks like for the most part, I've only had one person that said no. That's interesting. I like it, Glenn. Nobody learns from being right. You're absolutely right on that, Roger. That's good. Your character could be a Catholic priest. Carol, I'm not going that direction. I was thinking about that direction, but I don't talk politics or religion in here, so I'm not going with the Catholic priest. All right, I'm not going to go with the Catholic priest. All right, so I like that. Elizabeth says share and learn, kind of like it. Raphael says kind of like it. Well, that's better than not liking it. All right, so I'm putting that out there. I am going to keep it going. All right, and eventually, once it ramps up and we get a character that we're going to promote with this, it's going to have its own day. All right, so there we go. All right, last but not least, let's take a look at some of the stocks that you feel. I'm going to put some stocks on, analyze some stocks on the fly. Type them in. Joey, anybody you want to give the cup to today?
Oh, yeah, you pick somebody.
I pick somebody. Eeny, meeny, I'm going through the list. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, where I stop, nobody knows. Here. All right. Richard Gibson. Richard Gibson, you won the free mug, the free VectorVest mug today. Richard Gibson. All right, Richard Gibson.
Have him email you or me.
You got to email, who, you?
Marketing at VectorVest.
Marketing at VectorVest.com. Marketing at VectorVest.com. All right, so hopefully you're still here. And we'll go from there. Marketing at VectorVest.com to get your free mug. All right, Joey's going to start calling on. Are we going to have a problem here today? Are you going to read off some stocks or what?
You don't want to take them?
I can take them. All right, I can do them. So here's some stocks. XPEL, Pfmx, SRNE. That's a good looking stock. I like that. Bitcoin. Ooh, I wonder if I don't have a Bitcoin. I need a ticker symbol for Bitcoin. I need a ticker symbol. Who gave me that? That was JF. I need a ticker symbol. ICLM, comma PERI, comma. Oh my gosh. Scroll down. GRWG. That was Steve's pick. It's doing really good. GRWG from the hot stock panel. CLM, comma. PERI. Didn't I just have? I have PREI in there. I got you. Bitcoin analysis. Jeff. JF. No, I need a stock. My friend. FSLY. Then I'd have to do a Bitcoin story, and if I can do that in the future, I will. But I don't have that set up for today. Oh my gosh, please. All right, SHLO, comma Thor, comma Thor cannot be found. Oh, wait a minute. Is it THOR? THO. There we go. PRPL, comma, let me go down my list. Microsoft, MSFT. Now I'm looking for a couple of brand new people. Perry. Is that Perry? Yeah, Perry. DOCU, comma, new people. Seth, PYR. New people, really? PYR, need another ticker symbol. Karen. That's somebody spamming. I don't know who's spamming. Why is VectorVest move cryptocurrencies? Because I don't have it as a story, JF. It's not out there as a story that's making news, so I'm not doing it unless it becomes news. All right, that's the whole purpose of me being here on Trending Thursdays. Can I look at BTC? BTC. Is that a Bitcoin? What, BTCS? Mm-hmm. All right.
I thought so.
I don't know. I'll put it up there because he's spamming. It's not BTC. All right. Matthias says hello.
BTC, we just don't cover it.
Oh, is that what it is? It's BTC, but we don't cover it. Okay, got you. EMPH, couple more. PYRMF. I don't track that. And PEIX. All right, that's what I got going on today. Bitcoin, not in VectorVest database. Thank you, Will. That's what it is. It is BTCS for crypto. So I've got BTCS in there. We'll take a look at it. I will take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at the stocks you're giving me. XPEL, nice run up. It looks like I got a solid level of support sitting at about $14.22. Jumping up from there. Loved the 3 and the 8. Made a great entry here on the 3 and the 8. Even when it went sideways, the 3 and the 8 held, jumped up, pulled back off of that level of the high, but open today. Would really like to see if it can jump back above that 3-month high, which happened on big volume. Just be careful with that. Really would be looking forward to that to make sure I'm buying into a rising stock. Pfmx, interesting that the stock has been pretty flat for the last 3 days. I don't know what the news is behind it. It jumped up on the day that it jumped up with big volume, which means it was probably a news-driven stock on the 3 and the 8, but right now sitting sideways. Not sure that I really want that stock just quite right now. RT is starting to fall as the stock's price is moving sideways. If you're in it, leave it alone. If you're not in it, I'm probably not ready to jump on board with it yet. Looking at SRNE in the drug biomedical space, in the coronavirus space, actually looks a lot better than Moderna. Nicely moving higher, pulling back. Right now, the 3 and the 8 are still holding on the pullback. Again, this is another reason why I like the 3 and the 8. The pullback happened, the 3 and the 8 are still in place, but the stock officially went into downtrend territory yesterday. Look at that. RT fell below 1. The stock is now considered to be in a downtrend. Let's wait to see if the 3 and the 8 can hold and RT goes back above 1 before I get into it. All right. Sorry I did that like 15 times. Yes, it's BTC. Yeah, I don't have. Well, we're going to keep on going. Would you buy Apple right now? Let me put that in there. Listen, I don't think there's ever a bad time to buy Apple. That's just me personally. I'll put that in there. AMAT is in here. Every stock that we did go over, I'll bypass. AMAT, like the 3-month graph on it. Look at that nice move up, freehand line connecting the lows. For the most part, I like that stock. And I cannot lie. Just look at that. Look at that. Go right on by. I like that. It did fall below that trending line, the 3 and the 8 did cross, got you back in the 3-8, got you out, got you in. Right now, be careful with it. Down day today, it looks like a little bit of a bearish harami. A bearish harami from candlestick patterns. Could be a possible reversal on AMAT. Just be careful on that. All right, just be careful on that. Let's go pull down to the next stock, CLM. Love the move up. Very smooth in this move. Very Barry Whitish. Or very much like Lou Rawls. You'll never find another stock like mine. You'll keep searching. I like the smoothness of CLM. I really do. The 3 and the 8, even on the down day today, it looks like it gapped down day, but the 3 and the 8 are still holding. The RT is still above the value of 1. I wouldn't mind this stock. I would track it with the 3 and the 8 as a way to get out of the stock. All right, so let's go to the next one. Someone says there's some good ETFs that track companies through leverage blockchain as an alternative to Bitcoin. I'll have to take a look at that. The only problem is with Bitcoin, it's not making news. And it's such a speculative field. We've covered stories on Bitcoin and blockchain, but unless something is making the news, this is what Trending Thursday is all about. I probably won't talk about it. If I can find something that's rocking and rolling with Bitcoin, I probably will talk about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I'm all about that. All right. Microsoft, sitting a little bit of a channel. You know the news last week about them wanting to buy TikTok. Microsoft is still a good stock overall, but definitely in a big channel right now. The 3 and the 8 say no, not to be in it. The down day, RT still above the value of 1, but I'd wait for the 3 to go back above the 8 before I go buy into it. All right, isn't right one of them? Yep, it is, Mark. Let's go to the next one. Woo! Who gave me this? Good googly muggly. Good gravy. That ain't a good stock. That's just not good right there. I don't know what news is behind it, but man, oh man, I'm not feeling that at all. 3 and the 8 crossed to the downside here on 720. RT took it a little bit before it got below 1, but man, oh man, I'm not feeling that. And again, if there's news behind it, I don't know it. I don't know the news. I'm not going to look. But man, oh man, just by looking at the graph, stocks is a sell recommendation. Not ready to pull the trigger on that. Thor Industries. It did run up nicely back in May, pulled back down, found a level of support. Let's go draw that. Did find a level of support sitting right here at about 95.70. Make that a little darker. Did find that level of support. And then, look, so technically it's in a channel. Thor Industries is in a channel between 95.70 is a level of support, and at a level of 120.11 is a level of resistance. Pulling back right now to 3 and the 8, probably telling me, nope, don't want to be in it. The 3 fell below the 8. RT didn't get below 1, but price action is telling me that it's probably falling. Just be careful. I'm not ready to jump into it. If you are in it, there's your line in the sand sitting at 95.70. Let's go to the next one. PEIX, Energy Clean. You know how I feel about clean energy, folks. It is a happening industry. Here's another stock within that industry. Nicely running up. A little bit of a day today. Be careful. RT is really up there. Volume is really up there. I am a big fan of clean energy. Crypto segment could be interesting considering the large institutional adoption. All right, so maybe I'll look into it, Ricardo. A lot of people are jumping all over cryptos in here, so maybe I have to do a story. Perry. Yeah, there's a little bit of Loch Nessiosity going on. Look at it. Here's the hump. Moving up. Here's the hump moving up. So it's a little bit more volatile in the move. $5.95. Big up day today, but a big wick at the top. A lot of give back. The 3 and the 8 are not telling me it's okay to be in it. RT went from below 1 to above 1. I really would like RT to be above 1 and the 3 above the 8 before I pull the trigger on it. If you're in it, though, you do have a level of support sitting at $5.34. That's your line in the sand. And we'll go from there. ETS, BLCN, and BLOK. I'll look at those. All right. I'll look at those. Let's go to my next stock, iClean. Here's another clean energy. This is for the whole clean energy sector. I love this stock. This was one of my hot stock picks for the panel for the month of August. That I like. I like that a lot. Loch Nessiosity, love the Glen is, who just took me out of this?
Who would have logged into this?
Somebody just logged me out of my VectorVest 7. I'm not going back through it because I'm going to lose all of the stocks now.
Who else has it?
I don't know who has the Twitch account. I don't know who else would be in this account. Nobody would be in this account. This is the Twitch account. All right.
Let's go.
So with that, I apologize for that, folks. Looks like somebody took me out of my VectorVest 7 where all your stocks were. I do apologize for that. I got to look at as many of the stocks as I could before I was so rudely interrupted. But nonetheless, thank you for being here today. We had a little mix-up in the rooms. It is what it is. Joey did a good job of rectifying it. Joey did a really good job of rectifying. Paul says, bought iClean today. I'm actually still trading iClean in my real world portfolio. I like that energy. I love the clean energy. And those are the two industries. If you're learning something from here, two energies to keep your eye on, clean energy and, what did I just say? 5G. All right, so with that, Glenn, Overstock has an offering of $84.50 tomorrow. The stock is currently trading at $94. How will that work? It will drop to $84 tomorrow. The people will buy it at $84.50. So if it's got an offering at $84.50, are they opening up a different, another variation of the stock? So is it going to like from preferred stock to common stock? Because if they're going to do an offering, they're doing an offering. It sounds like on a different stock, to build up a different stock. It's not a split. You didn't say it was a split. It was an offering, which means I think it's a different delineation of shares. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'm not exactly sure. Maria, you're still not in timeout. What did Maria say? Should I put Maria in timeout? Oh, no, Maria said, great job, guys. So I didn't put her in timeout, not me. Don't worry, another great trading Thursday. Thank you, Thomas. Glenn got hacked. I don't know who did that. I don't know who got me out of that, but we're the only ones that are normally in that account. All right. What do you mean? Never mind. So with that, folks, I'm glad that you like the new segment that we're putting in here. The Stock Market Confessions. We have a mug winner. Our mug winner, please remember to send an email to marketing at VectorVest.com. What do you think about Tesla? Tesla split. All it is from the Tesla split is trying to get more people into the stock, just like they're doing with Apple. The split just gives people a lower price point into the stock to get more investors in it. Nothing wrong with that. And a lot of these stocks, like a Tesla, a lot of people feel that they'll never be able to get into it. Tesla is giving them an opportunity to get on board and help drive the stock's price higher. That's it for it. And Steve did the GRWG, Michael. That was a Steve pick. It was up like 40% today. That grower stock is up like 40% today. All right, and it looks like you guys are all over trying to get me to do a Bitcoin story. I probably am going to do a speculative Thursday where I'm probably going to do cryptocurrency, marijuana, and I'll find another speculative industry. I might do that in the real near future. I might do something like a what did I just say? A speculative Thursday. All right. So somebody says yes. Why? Because people. It looks like all you guys, a lot of you guys are in here talking about Bitcoin. That's what it sounded like when you type it in the room. And it's like, hey, are we there yet? Hey, can Bitcoin yet? Hey, can we get to Bitcoin yet? So I think I'm going to do that. All right. So I'm gonna look at that. All right. With that, Maria says, my real world portfolio is up 23% to date because of VectorVest. Way to go. Way to go. 5G, Salim, I'm not going to call that as speculative. I think I'm going to come up with a third industry that's a little bit speculative. I'm probably going to have a speculative Thursday. All right, so I'm done for today. Now I am curious why the marijuana stocks are up so much. So that's why that's in that speculative field. I'm going to take a look at it. Did you quit Twitch? Yeah, we quit Twitch because they wouldn't. I was loving Twitch, but it was all Joey's fault. All right, folks, I got to go. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha, salam. Shalom, salam, and namaste. You guys have a great day. Thank you for supporting the YouTube channel live. We're going to keep it growing. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to give us some likes before you go out the door. How many likes did we get? I wanted to get 150 likes. We didn't get to 150 likes. All right. I wanted to get the likes. And don't forget to comment once Joey gets these videos out. All right. So what about you, Kev? I didn't say nothing to you. You guys have a great day. Peace. Out of here.